And Daryl the Guru Johnson with you on 95.7 The Game. 49ers, they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 34-3 yesterday.
Smoked.
And in that game, Christian McCaffrey was out of the game with 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Sam Darnold was in the game, and Elijah Mitchell was in the game for Christian McCaffrey. And on a fourth down with 6 minutes to go, Kyle Shanahan put McCaffrey into the game to try to set a record for consecutive weeks with a touchdown. So he put Christian McCaffrey back in the game at 34-3 with 6 minutes to go.
For a series. Yeah.
You good with that, 49er fans? Here's what Shanahan had to say.
18 games in a row is a big record. So, I mean, if we had a chance to do that, I was going to try to do it for him. And it's a little nerve-wracking. Last thing I want to do is get him hurt. But once it was big time for Elijah to run the ball like that to get us down there. Brock and I think Ronnie made a huge third down throw, I believe, that gave us a chance. And once we got close, we told him to stay loose because we were going to try. And got close, wish we could have done it for him. But I think that was a pretty big accomplishment just to do it for 17 games straight. So.
That's a coach wanting to do right by a player. How you feeling about that?
I'm the guy that likes the company meetings, our weekly meetings, and this may be a bad analogy. I like camaraderie. Steiny, if he would have got hurt, I'd be the same guy saying, I can't believe he put him back in. But the fact that everybody seemed to be fired up, they wanted to break Lenny Moore's record, and they all were watching. What I don't understand is why he wouldn't have put Brock Purdy in. He didn't get hurt, and he didn't get the record. But honestly, and I was talking to Shasky, he didn't like it. Bonte wasn't feeling it. Don't sound like you're feeling it. I like that they all were trying to look out for their brother and get him this record. And he didn't get hurt. So no harm, no foul.
I see both sides. But you're right. I mean, but here's the thing. You know, McCaffrey gets hurt on that play, and that's all we're talking about today. That's all we're talking about today is McCaffrey getting hurt, trying to get a record that the reality is very few people have actually heard of.
But now he's still part of the record, so maybe that's why he shouldn't have been out there when somebody ever comes down the road trying to break or gets to 17. It's going to be Lenny and McCaffrey, Steiny. They're tied, so it ain't like he just is gone bye-bye. So I just never felt like he was going to get it because they were extra trying, if that makes any sense.
From the 408, if it's okay for the Cowboys to have their backup quarterback throwing 20-yard passes up 42-10, it's fine for Shanahan to try to get McCaffrey the record. Yeah, I think you're missing the point, 408. It's not about whether Shanahan's trying to rub it in or not, or whether Shanahan can. It's about what happens if McCaffrey gets hurt in a game where you're up 34-3 with 6 minutes to go.
And he was out there a series, Steiny, not a play, so he could have got hurt. They were trying to give it to him. Yep. He wanted it too, and I get it. But, all right, let's say this. Are you going Michael Strahan when he sacked Brett Favre, and a lot of people said that's BS because Brett fell down and kind of made it easy for Strahan? Strahan don't care. He's got the record. He's in the books. My point to you is, would that record have meant as much him breaking it the way that they went about it? Because it wasn't natural.
I don't even remember that. I mean, I just remember he set the record.
But like if McCaffrey got in on the last series, would you have been like, you know what, that's some BS?
No. It would have still been 19. But, I mean, the thing I don't get is...
Why risk it?
Well...
hey...
But that's kind of why I don't get where you're coming from on this one, because whenever there's an injury or something, it's always got to hold the guy out. You know, Deebo Samuel can't play until he can play.
That's me. I'm with you.
So I just don't know why this would be different if you're one of those people that are worried about health.
But I guess a part of it, Steiny, is watching the Niners come together, and that's what I feel like they were doing, all for their brother to get the glory.
I'm sure that's what they were doing.
Yeah, no.
But okay. I mean...
And again, I
just don't tell me you're worried about injury then. is all I'm saying. If you're going to put a guy back in a game at 34-3 for that record, and he can say that, he can say, oh, that's a big record. Nobody even knows that record. That's not a big record.
But it was big to them,
it's a great feat. It's an achievement.
If you look at who was O.J. Simpson and who are all the other guys that were behind Lenny, it's a big deal.
Let's go to Pete in San Rafael. What's up, Pete? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys today?
Doing well.
A victory Monday is so much better than the pain we had these last 3 weeks, is it not?
You can hear it in your voice, Peter.
Anyway, in answer to your question, that's got to be a tough one. Being a head coach in NFL is not an easy job because to get a record, how many years ago was Lenny Moore's record? And to be able to break that, are you kidding me? You want to give the guy a chance, but yes, he'd have been in the doghouse if McCaffrey got hurt. But to that point, you guys touched on it earlier. I think the big shift I saw yesterday is Lynch loves that defensive line, and I think Chase Young's a great ad. And being a defensive back, Lynch can see the value in that. But Shanahan likes to run the ball. And when you can get Trent back in the lineup and you get Debo back in the lineup, it opened up everything. McCaffrey got shut down the last couple of weeks. All of a sudden, the offense is clicking, and it's easier on Purdy. So I got to believe that the health absolutely matters. And I think Wilkes is going to get it on defense. But if they keep playing like this with that intensity, that's the key. But I think it's up for grabs whoever's going to win the Super Bowl this year. Nobody's really totally dominant.
No, not yet.
Lost one game.
Not yet.
And Steiny, I know they got Philly in a couple weeks, but again, I'm not going to forget our conversations. This was about the Niners, if they do get to the NFC Championship game, having home field, and this losing streak has put them 2 games behind Philly. So, I can't believe I didn't understand or had forgotten the impact of Deebo Samuel before the ball is hiked. Steiny, he has to be accounted for, and that gives everybody else more room to work. And also Brock Purdy knowing he could just drop back, boom, give it to Debo, get some momentum that way, and then hit you downfield. So they looked like themselves yesterday, and you look at the score, they dismantled a hot Jacksonville Jaguar team.
Let's go to San Leandro Mo. Wants to talk about McCaffrey and Jake Moody. What's up, San Leandro Mo?
Hey, what's up, fellas? Appreciate you taking my call. I got 2 things. First, to answer your question, I feel like if Shanny was, really worried about the record, he could have and would have got CMC the touchdown earlier in the game. But that's just me. And then second thing, do either of you remember, I believe it was Moody's second field goal, the one where he nearly missed.
Right. It went in, no, but yeah.
Okay, so what was up with that? So he kicked it 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. He kicked it first, and then Peterson called a timeout. He kicked it again, and he I don't know if he made it or not, but the TV, the crew didn't explain it to the audience what happened then, which led to his third kick, which he nearly missed. Did you guys catch that? And if you guys can harp on that. Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure on that one. You guys know? Moody took 3 attempts. One was a timeout that was granted.
Tried to ice him.
One was a timeout that was granted. Were there 2? We'll check into that. By the way, here's what Shanahan said. Hey, you think it might be dangerous to put, I don't know, best running back in football back in with 6 minutes to go of a blowout?
I try to make decisions not based off of having to talk to you after the game. I try to make it on what I think's right for a team. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong, but I'm not going to think about you until after the game, so then I can just deal with it.
All right, so he doesn't care what the media thinks.
Yep.
Rightfully so.
Well, obviously, he went for the record.
Tony's in Pacifica. What's up, Tony? How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing, Steiny?
Hey.
Hey.
So you want to know what the mystery was and why the Niners were able to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? I'll tell you. Because Jacksonville didn't put that 5 and 6 big men up there on the front on 1st and 2nd down, so they were able to run the ball. So if anybody who watches football should have already realized that Jacksonville didn't come in with the same game plan as the last 3 teams did. So that's why the Niners won.
And the last 3 teams didn't have to worry about Debo, too, so that was a big deal.
About Debo. No one's worrying about Debo, bro. He ain't all that.
Wow.
Somebody doesn't like the Niners out there.
It's all good. Missed me with that. They missed him. And the Niners used what Cleveland and Minnesota did with the 5 D linemen to start the game. But, Steiny, the backside of a defense, man, you cannot sell out knowing that Debo might get the ball any way, any type of way. You got to play him honest. And you can't tell me that dimension, not having that, didn't affect him these last couple weeks.
From the Comcast Business Text Line, 510. Hey, Steiny, every time you break a record from a guy who no one has heard of, it means that the record is so old that breaking it is a huge deal. That's Roy from the Stack.
Oh, our guy Roy.
Well, listen, I just said I did not have a problem with it. I see what he was trying to do. The thing I find interesting is all the people that are super duper conservative about never playing a guy if he's not 100% and keeping guys in bubble wrap and making sure that they don't get put in harm's way. It's like,
but you got to understand what's at stake, Steiny.
What is at stake?
Like the Dallas 42-10, you could say that was stupid. What are you doing? Just trying to get stats. My point is, this was a record. And I think that's what Roy is saying.
Okay.
This was prestigious, a record, you know? So I mean, just padding stats, I guess you could live.
Of course it is. That's exactly what it is. It's padding stats. It's padding stats in a big way.
Well, you're going into history books.
I
just don't. He would have had this record solo dolo. And that second kick, Steiny, was a TV timeout, it looks like. Scheduled TV timeout. So it wiped it out.
Okay. So we figured that one out. Players get hurt in practice. They're non-contact injuries. I'm not worried about CMC going for the record. It's team building.
I love.
Well, then I'll tell you what. If Trent Williams is not at 100% at any point the rest of the year, and you guys go, "Oh, hold him out."
Well, what record's at stake then?
That's not a reason to get a guy hurt.
About. How can you make that the same?
Because it's not a record.
No, it doesn't.
Because it's not a record.
There's a record involved, and you're dismissing it like it's for a regular play.
I am dismissing
it. So records mean nothing to you.
Let me once again be clear. I don't have a problem.
It sounds like you do.
I don't have a problem with Christian McCaffrey going back into the game. I have a problem with the same people who want to hold guys out left and right because they're scared that they might get hurt. All of a sudden, now it's okay. It's totally okay because he was going to set a record, more of an achievement.
So that's what I want to ask
you. So you're okay with getting him hurt
if
it's for padding stats.
You need to know how you sound. I'm asking you. Records mean nothing to you.
Absolutely nothing to me.
Okay, well, now
put up against the player's injury. Put up the possibility for a player's injury. I'm just saying, again, it's Kyle's decision. I see why he did it. I see why people wouldn't want it done. But I'm just saying, I don't understand the same people who beg for guys not to get hurt or not to play if there's a chance they could get hurt down the line, now going for some, I'll say it, meaningless record that very, very few people
it's meaningless
have heard
to
about.
You, Steiny.
No, very few people in the world know about this record.
Well, but my point is the team wanted him to get it, so they risked. They took the risk.
Right. And I'm surprised that many are like, yeah, that's fine now. It's fine. Well, it could get him hurt. Well, that's okay. He was going to get a record. Oh, okay. Well, then it's okay. Then it's okay to put their season at risk, I guess. And listen, again, I'm just arguing.
People agreeing with
I'm
you.
just arguing with them. I'm just asking the people who are always on the other side of this argument why this one is one where they'll say, "No, this is okay. This one I understand the risk." Because quite frankly, this one I don't understand the risk. But because I get why he did it.
Because of the record.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that much to you.
No.
Right.
Well, is that record more important than than having McCaffrey get a chance to get hurt?
I would say the Niners answer, and the head coach would be yeah.
Okay. Well, I would think that many of the same people who
McCaffrey wanted that record.
Great. And does that matter when a guy wants to play but he's not 100%? No, we say sometimes you got to save somebody from themselves. Of course McCaffrey wants the record. I get it. It's not a double standard. It's if a guy can get a record, then risk it. I mean, I don't think.
It was worth it.
No, he didn't get it either.
He didn't come close.
So
he didn't come close. That's why I asked you, would you had a problem had he got it the way that they went about it, like it wasn't natural? Because why didn't you put Purdy in and everybody in to enhance maybe his chances? Not that Darnold cost him, but I was perplexed. But I was like, what did the guy say? We had a team building. That's what I thought it was. I was like, you know what? This is cool. If the coach is going to say it and it means something, because your boy McCaffrey was trying to get in there, Steiny. You could tell he wanted it.
I mean, when Evan was telling me about this situation before the show, I said, you know what? I said, this is where I think we, meaning the media and the fans, we don't really get it. And Evan's like, what are you talking about? And I said, okay, so this record for McCaffrey, Kyle wanted him to get the record, and he puts him back in to get the record. I mean, we've seen some coaches do that with guys to get a triple-double in the NBA. And I said to Evan, I just don't think we get it. Like, if a guy's healthy, you play him. And, yeah, they were up 34-3, but McCaffrey probably said, all right, I mean, if you can get me enough, I get a chance, that'd be great. And Kyle's like, okay, you know what? We got a chance. He's healthy. Let's give him a shot. He didn't get it, but the reality is I don't understand why they would like, I just don't understand why people who freak out about injuries wouldn't be super, super pissed at that. That's all.
Well, Enrique Rivera agrees with you. He says, celebrate the good road win, not chasing records.
Exactly.
But do you think the same people that you speak of, and I'm included in that the record was worth if he would have got hurt going forward?
There's nobody on planet Earth who would say, including Christian McCaffrey, if he gets it, it's worth him getting hurt.
Well, that was the risk that he had, those 3 plays that he went out there. That came with it. They just blew past it and got lucky he didn't get hurt.
Right. So for all those people that think that don't have any problem with the 49ers putting McCaffrey back in that game, I'm just saying I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Oh, we got to keep this guy out and this guy out. And what if this guy, like, that's not.
But what if a record's at stake, Steiny?
I don't care, Goo. I don't care about a record. And especially, I'm sorry, we're not talking about touchdowns in a season. We're not talking about sacks. We're not talking about 2,000 yards.
But the most consecutive games?
Nobody even heard of that record before McCaffrey got to like 12 or 13.
Okay. But you agree to you, but obviously to everybody involved with the team and the coach, they thought that the record was a big deal.
That's fine. So acknowledge, Goo, that if there's a record at stake, fine. If a guy gets hurt, so what? There was a record at stake.
Okay.
I
think that would
that's dumb.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's dumb.
Be, but still, I would have different energy. Like, well, what were you? Well, I was going for the record. Still, I feel I get where you're coming from, but you don't do us like, oh, it's 2 minutes left in the game. We're running them back out there just to run them back out there. There was something that they thought was precious and worth. They wanted their guy to have, and he didn't get it.
He'd come out of the game, and the backup quarterback was in the game. All right. And you know what?
What you got?
I'll tell you what I got. stop trying to convince me that that's an important record. Nobody even heard of Lenny Moore coming into this season except me, because I happen to know he's from Reading, Pennsylvania. But nobody coming into this season after McCaffrey got 3 touchdowns in the first 3 said, he's going to get Lenny Moore's record, baby. Let's shoot for that. Nobody even knows who Lenny Moore is.
But you're not the record police. Who are you to tell somebody who the record means?
Nobody knows. Just don't tell me it's an important record.
I'm telling you it is. If
to
the
whom?
Team, the
to
Niners.
Lenny Moore and Christian McCaffrey.
And his team.
Was it worth losing him for the season?
I'm not saying that.
No, but
I know what you're saying, but you can't put what you feel and go against what the team just showed you. It meant something to them. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
I know you're saying
so
nobody
there are circumstances where you throw out all the criteria you use as you manage your football team during the course of the season. I'm just pointing out the hypocriticalness of it. That's all. Because I don't like you either it's all about the team or it's not. It's all about the team or it's not.
And it was a blowout game. Everybody's feeling good. They got a long plane ride. They tried to throw their boy a bone. Was there risk? Because some call it stupid. Had he got hurt, he would be in hot water. But he didn't get hurt, and he didn't get it.
See, like, I don't. Oh, we got to go. Anyway.
No, you got 2 minutes.
Evan, how do you feel?
You had 9 drives to get him the record.
Oh, boy.
I'm just saying, like if you
brought to you by ACO.
Like, also too, if Shanahan really did want to get him the record, why was Sam Darnold throwing him the ball?
Now, Steiny, had you said
is the quarterback more important than the running back, or vice? I don't know. I just think it's what I saw from the end of that game was interesting, that they chose to try and do their boy solid.
Yeah.
But there was, I don't know, like that. Just felt unnecessary.
Would it have? I'm being real, Evan. I asked Steiny this. Would it have felt tainted had he got it the way that putting him back in? It wouldn't have. He would have had it, but it would have been kind of like, wow, y'all.
Nobody would remember it 4 weeks from now. Just like nobody knows what the record is in the first place.